Welcome to this week's podcast, Digital Marketing for Lawyers. It's a great pleasure to have you here on this podcast this week. And we have another exciting topic which can help you to build your practice, build your firm using digital marketing technologies and channels. Let's get into it. So the agenda, very very brief introduction about myself. So in case that's your first time, and then the topic of the week is SEO for law firms. Again, that will be only in an introduction. I will give you just the highlights so that you can actually get started. You can check what you're already doing. You can adjust what you're doing, and then in the future we'll go into more details. So let's get into it. My name is Michael Alf. I worked 12 years with Capgemini, one of the last consulting and IT companies in various roles like business development, project management, account management, consulting, and IT. So kind of across the board. And then I moved to Oceano. I was running the project management office. Again, lots of IT and transformation projects, digital projects, online projects, mobile projects, and so on and so on. Now I'm CEO and founder Digital for Lawyers. We work with professional service companies like law firms and also other professional service companies to help them to streamline, optimize, and automate their mobile, online and mobile activities. So with that, let's go into the subject of today. As usual, I would like to use the letter of awesomeness of digital marketing as an anchor point. That letter, as you can see here, is from Avinash Kaushik, and you can look it up there if you want it afterwards. And he talks about the letter of awesomeness, and you step the letter kind of from the bottom towards the top. That gives you a good indication in terms of what actually to look at, when to do things, what to focus on, so that kind of in all the things you might get overwhelmed as a firm, and so you need an anchor point where actually you can have clear guidance and a perspective of what to do. Let me briefly talk about that. The bottom is an acceptable website and SEO, and as you can see, what we're covering today is at the very bottom of the ladder. So it's very, very important to get something going in that space. We then talked about already the step number 2, great mobile experience, the mobile optimized websites and the high relevance here. And then we also talked about some paid search, and we spoke about also social media, social Facebook and so on, which is a little bit higher on the ladder. So hopefully again that gives you an indication and an orientation what you should do in this space. Now let's move into SEO and SEO, search engine optimization. It is a very interesting topic. Why is that? Because it's about getting into the organic searches of Google. Why is that so relevant? Well, as you can see here on the left, the number 1 ranking gets by far the highest click-through rates. So people are just, if you like, lazy or convenient, and they click number 1 when they search something. Now think about the following. Somebody is looking for something, and then search results come up, and so this person actually is really searching for something. So that's why it's so relevant, because you have a hot lead. And we spoke in one of the previous podcasts about the number of searches, and just in Australia and Melbourne, for example, you have probably around 1,000 searches per month for family lawyer, as an example. And so you see there is high potential out there, even though the majority of the business might come from referral business, and that's perfectly fine. That's probably around 40-50%. Maybe it's higher for you, maybe it's lower for you. But the question is then, well, how do you tap into this additional business opportunity? And one is paid search, is one which we looked at, and SEO is the other one. So, but it's interesting. The landscape has changed dramatically. It's getting to number 1 has become very hard. Why is that? Well, first of all, a lot of people are doing SEO nowadays, which means so there is only one first spot for each single search term. If you want to be number one, you have to basically beat all the other competitors out there. And in the law firm space, there's heaps of companies and firms out there, let's say in the private law, family law space, but also in other areas, patent law, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of competition out there. Therefore, number one spot is highly, highly competitive. And you can see, I mean, yeah, number five already gets only 6%, 4%, and it goes down. Really, number 10 is only 2%. So the question then is, if you spend, let's say $1,000 per month on SEO, and that's quite common. Maybe let's say maybe it's $700 per month. Well, is that bringing you kind of the return on investment you want? So that's one. Maintaining the number one is even harder. Clearly, you have to do a lot of work. And, um, and a lot of relevant work to keep you up to date. And it's no longer that it's just, let's say, the domain name or simple keywords. Google, one of the things, the big things you might know, might not know, is that Google has changed the way how they evaluate who is number one. You've heard about Panda and Penguin and all these kind of things, and that's okay. That's changing the rules from Google perspective. What that gives you is those who are genuinely providing value are ranked higher. So they have links, they are present on various platforms and so on. But it's but as I said, it's a lot harder. So therefore, the ranking is important, but it's not everything. And I really recommend that you go back to the previous podcast on advertisement and how to use advertisement, Google advertisement versus Google SEO, and find the right mix. SEO is a long-term strategy, and Google AdWords is a short-term strategy. The other one I want to mention is dynamic SEO. What do I mean by dynamic search engine optimization? Nowadays, you might already do SEO, you might see the results or not, and most organizations are offering packaged deals. Yeah, so you pay again $700, $1,000, and you get the standard package what they are doing. Challenge with that is that basically it's harder to be flexible and dynamic and responsive to changes, to new requirements, to changes in the marketplace. So therefore, we are now moving into a world, into an era of dynamic SEO. So you still have that package, but the service provider, let's say for example Digital for Lawyers, has then the opportunity to actually offer you a more flexible SEO. So depending what is happening, there's probably more articles, there's more of that, there's this, and so on. So it gives you kind of a more comprehensive view, and it's also responding to what the market is doing, what the competitors are doing. So with that, that's what we call dynamic SEO, and it gives you a different positioning than what you had before. So is being number one really still that important? Well, what I want to do is now here on this slide, give you an example of the search page of Family Lawyer. And again, it shows up here on the left. And you can see a lot of things here, which gives you a really, really good idea what's going on and what's happening. One thing you see is lots of advertisement. So you see the top 3 spots. They get a lot of traffic, clearly, and a lot of people still don't know that it's ads, or they don't care actually, because they want just kind of the right solution and a good solution, and they think, okay, we just go with them. Then you have plenty of ads on the right. Yeah, so there's in this case probably roughly 8 ads. You have the map at the top. And then you have the Google Plus information. So you have a lot of companies who are on the map, and that's what Google is supporting strongly. So and then only very at the bottom you see just one organic standard search result: divorce lawyer Melbourne, family lawyer Melbourne, and so it's kind of very at the bottom of the page, and that might still work and get clicks, but you can see that other things are much more important. And so then the rules are constantly changing because Google wants to give really specific and relevant results, because that's what they want to offer their clients and their customers. So it's more important to create actually relevant content across all platforms to get ranked higher, and you have to use what Google is offering. So Google Plus, Google Local pages, and do that in the right thing. Link the website with the Google Plus information and all these kind of things, which we briefly spoken about in a social media podcast, which will probably go into more details later on in one of the following podcasts. So hopefully that gave you a very good idea about actually what is happening when you type in a search term. And I know a lot of people are not even doing that, but that hopefully helped you to get a better understanding actually about the component you can see here. Yeah, so a lot of ads, a lot of Google Plus related to the map, and which makes it very hard to go onto the organic top ranking or organic 2 or 3 top ranking. Is it still worth? Well, SEO is a long-term strategy and it is worth it. That's one search engine, and again, because you are covering a lot of platforms, it is worth it. It kind of improves your overall image and perspective, and it's more likely that actually people are finding you either on Google or other places. So my suggestion is it's still worth. It's really think about dynamic SEO and go that path, and then you can benefit actually really from Google and from search engine optimization. So with that, well, thank you very much for that podcast, short and sharp. That's what I want to do, to give you a really short and sharp information which you can put and take back into your organization, into your firm, have a conversation internally, and see how you can apply that, how you can use that. And if you have specific questions or want to discuss something in detail, send me an email, michael@dm4l.com.au, michael@dm4l.com.au, or find me at digitalforlawyers.com.au, the 4 with the number 4 to keep it short and sharp. So just kind of go there, find out more, or send me an email, michael@dm4l.com.au. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week ahead of you.